Okay, the next little video tutorial we're going to do is working with text, and we're going to actually just do a really basic fading text. It's pretty simple, there's nothing fancy about it, it works really easy. I'm going to show you, give you the example, and then we'll recreate it. So if I come here, I'm going to hit Control Enter, and here's what it looks like. So what we've got is we've got this little bar, and across the text comes Hartnell College, C. Svensson, CSS 127 Flash. So this is pretty easy. No bells, no whistles, not too much to do. We've got some layers, we've got each of our texts, and then we have our background on a different layer so that you can see what's going on. So all we're going to do is reconstruct this actually. So I'm going to go to File, New. We're going to just stay with ActionScript 2 because there's really only one piece of ActionScript on this whole thing, and that's a stop action on it. So as you can see in this one, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 layers. In this one, we're going to go ahead and put our 6 layers in there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This one will be the background. We've got a horizontal bar. And then we'll have name. Hartnell. And then we'll put class, whatever our class is. This is going to be our ActionScript layer. And then our last one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think I actually added too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep. So we'll go ahead and just dump this one right out in the garbage. Alright. So now we kind of have to make a decision. Let's make this go out here to 30. So we're just going to go ahead and insert some frames so that we get out here. The next thing we need to do is decide how big we want this to be. If this were the starting of a website, similar to what we did in a previous version, and then we could make this really big. Right now we'll look and see that the document is 550 by 400, which is just basically the default for this, which is Flash's default. We're going to go show all so it's big enough. Here's our background, so we'll start there. I'm going to use a really nice blue, but what I'm going to do with the blue is do this. So what I have when I go to put in my rectangle tool, and here you'll notice I can do some circles here if I want to, you know, the corners here. I don't want a stroke, so I'm going to click over here and get rid of the stroke, and I'm going to come here and I'm actually just going to put it in there. I'll go here, click on this, make it a little bit bigger. One of the nice things about using the tool like this is that we can go through and make some changes if we want to. In using this, we can come in here and change colors. We can do some kind of different things if we wanted to, and move certain things around if we wanted to. But for right now, this is probably good enough. If we want to change this, the way the color comes in, we can even do that if we really want to by clicking, oops, I don't want to do that, by changing how we lay this out using our free transform, but I'm not going to worry about it right now because, well, here's our gradient transform tool, so if you want to make any changes that way, you can. You'll notice we can move this around this way so that if we have a highlight that's going a certain way, or if we want something, say, darker up here, we can do that, so we can make those changes. And we can also make it much smaller this way, make it larger this way. I'm going to show all again, and we can even rotate this if we really wanted to. So it just really depends on what you're looking for. And in fact, I think I'm just going to kind of leave it like that. I like that. So the next thing we need to do is we're going to put in a horizontal bar. So all we're going to do is we're going to come here, we're going to grab this, we're going to go ahead and use that gray bar right there. We're going to come across here and we're going to make a bar. Now, again, we want to probably go ahead and change our horizontal so that what we have looks just a little different. Oops, 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 oops. Let's go back this way out to where we were and get my rotator. And I'm going to rotate this way like that. So now what I have is this bar, and in my horizontals I love to play with these little, gosh darn it, bars, these tools that we get to play with like this. We can make stuff look different. We can bring them in again as we did there. We can bring these closer. Gosh, I really just wish it would stay where it's supposed to. There we go. And then we'll change this like that so that I'm going to lock this down so we can't keep getting messed with in here. There we go. And then we can come back here to free transform and play around some more. We can rotate this. Oops. I want to get the rotate like this. I don't want to get that rotate. We'll just leave that a little bit like that. I'm not sure I like that. Let's go ahead and dump this. Let's go back to our bar again. Let's go back to this one. Let's put our little bar up there. Now we can go back here, change our gradient tool, see if we can get a different look to it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this, move it in. So now we start to get more of a kind of rounded piece looking like it's got more definition, more 3D. So that's how we ended up with that. Okay? And again, if you want to add your caps, you can change your caps so that they're rounded or anything like that. So there's that. Now I'm going to actually just kind of move that down there. Alrighty. So now what we're going to do is we're going to take our name and we're going to get our little text box out here. We're going to come over here and I'm just going to say Svensson. But I want it to be white. So let's make sure that it's white. Okay. Then I'm going to grab it like this, and I'm actually going to go ahead and turn it into a symbol. And I'm just going to say name. Hit OK. And now we can do some different things because once we get our name properties in there, we can start to play with this. What I'm going to do here, though, is I'm going to go and let's see, right about there, I'm going to insert a keyframe. And the keyframe, and this here is going to change because I want that to, well, we'll keep that and I'll show you what I'm going to do. So this one here, we're going to actually change the effect. So we're going to go over here to color effect. We're going to go to alpha, and notice that the alpha is set to 0, and notice what happened to my text right here. It's set to 0. So let me move the alpha up, and you'll start to see it appear. And so what we're doing is we're going to change the alpha to 0. We're going to come into here, and we're going to say classic tween. So now what happens is we go from here to here. Well, that's just dandy. There's just one little problem, and I need my text to be moving. So when it gets to here, I'm going to actually put it, let's say, right there. So let's see what happens. It's going to probably move pretty fast. Yep. And if we want it to move slower, we can add more keyframes, or even better, I'm going to grab this, click on it once, click it on it again, and move it to here. So that actually my tweening moves pretty slow. And as you can see, moves right into place. So I'm going to do the same thing with heart now. I'm actually going to come over here, hit text, I'm going to type in heart now. And because it's gray and this is a blue background, you know, we can experiment with these colors. The idea is to try and make it readable. So here we need to do convert to symbol, and we can just say heart now. Or you can say school, it really doesn't matter. We hit OK, and our color effects become available to us. But the first thing we want to do here is grab this, insert keyframe. So I'm going to lock down my name right here, and I'm going to lock the horizontal bar. Now I'm going to come back here, and I'm going to change my alpha. When I click on this, I'm going to come over here, change the alpha down to 0, and I'm going to go back to here, and I'm going to move it to there, and I'm going to create a classic tween. So what we have now is the same thing that we had before. We've got these two images rolling up, boom. Okay, and let's see, class. Let's go ahead and put a class in here. We'll probably have to move these down a little bit. Let me unlock name. So I'm going to move that down. Move this over. Oops, I just want to select the one. There we go. Close enough, I guess. Now I'm going to go to class. Let's lock those. I'm going to go to class. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put some text in there. Grab the text, and I'm going to say CSS 127. I'm going to click on it. I'm going to close, shoot that way down like that. I'm going to right mouse click, convert to symbol, and I'm going to say class, hit OK. I'm going to do the same thing that I did before. I'm going to come here, insert a blank keyframe. Then I'm going to come back here on this one, here, and I'm going to go to my effects. Oops, let's click it. Go to my colors and change my alpha. Now you can change your tinting, you can do a whole bunch of other stuff if you'd like. And I'm here, and I'm going to move that to say right there. So we're going to tweak it a smidge, move it up a little bit. And so now I'm going to right mouse click, do classic tween, so that it goes all the way down. So what we've got is this happening. And then if we could, again, if you, in a future lesson on a website design, you could make this button interactive, you could put text down here. There's a whole bunch of little things you can do, but we're just trying to get you right now used to using text and manipulating text and doing things with text at this point. The last final thing I'm going to do actually right here is I'm going to insert an action, and I'm going to put a stop action so that it doesn't loop. And I'm going to terminate that. and it's not in the C. Let's test it. Perfect. So again, it says these fonts should be embedded, which when we come back and we look at these fonts, they're not embedded. Well, it is embedded actually, so I don't know why it's giving us that. So font embedding command, so, but we'd be okay. It's not a problem. We would embed the fonts when we go to use them. Okay, so that's not a problem. So anyway, that's what the fading text looks like. If you have any questions, give me a buzz, let me know, and I'll answer your questions.